Oh, I hope that person from yesterday joins. Hi. Hello, YouTube. I'm about to start my live over here also on TikTok. So give me a moment and then I'm going to start. We're going to be talking about mental health and how to manage emotions, thoughts, and behaviors. I usually like to let people ask questions. So we'll be discussing whatever naturally comes up, as well as anything that pops into my head. Also, for people who are new here, this is my 5-star rated self help book. See Dr. Abena Berry at the bottom, written in honor of Black mental health, but my readers are still of all backgrounds and identities. It's a book that has endless universal mental health knowledge and tools because we all have the same structures and parts to our brain. The purpose of the book was to help fight stigma and decrease and increase resources within Black and Brown communities. But my readers are white, Black, and everything in between. So if you're curious about my book and want to have a resource to help you keep healing and growing, check it out by going to drabenaberry.com. I will put that in the comments so that later people can see it. And hello, welcome in, whoever just joined. I hope it's the same person from yesterday because I did not get your email. I checked my email after I hopped off and I didn't see it. Okay, so that is my website there, drabenaberry.com. And that's a place where you can not only reach out if you would like to work with me one-on-one, whether that be for therapy or for coaching, life coaching, but also so you can easily find all the direct links to buy my book. It is available everywhere online, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble online, bookshop.org, the list goes on and on. That also will allow you to read different reviews from my diverse readers, which will help you make your decision so that you can see that people who look like you are also reading my book. Okay, I got to get my other live going on TikTok. And again, hello to whoever is in with the YouTube live. Once I go live on TikTok, I'm not going to be able to say YouTube anymore. Ain't that ridiculous? But I'm not going to be able to say YouTube anymore. So if you're wondering why I just kind of gesture, it's because of that. TikTok is very strict. I got a violation yesterday. Hey, Savannah. I got a violation yesterday because of some BS again with TikTok, which is just that they don't want you to say anything other than TikTok. So YouTube people, I'm here, I'm with you, but I won't be able to say the words YouTube anymore, but you'll be able to still be a part of the conversation. Savannah, I'm about to go live on TikTok right now as well. Okay, I think we're ready. Let's do it. Okay. And I was joking yesterday and saying how on YouTube, oh crap, I already messed up, y'all. Look at that. Look what I just did. No, Savannah, you're cool. You can stay over here. On TikTok, it's not what I meant to say, but there's no warning on this, right, when you're trying to go live. So it's just funny. Hi, user 854. Welcome in. Hello. And yes, Savannah, you can stay here or go over to TikTok. That's up to you. But either way, you'll be hearing the same conversation. So, hi, Sean. Welcome in. Good to see you. How have you been? I hope you've been doing well. Welcome. It's good to have you here today. We're going to be having just another general mental health conversation, but that includes all things human, right? Because we hear the word mental health, and I think a lot of times that can be off-putting to people because of some of the stigma and misinformation that's spread. But what I mean by mental health is all things human. So understanding your relationships and interactions with other people, understanding your own inner world and how to manage that better, and everything in between. So that's what we're going to be focused on. Good, Sean. I'm glad everything is going well with you. I'm so glad that that's the case. Okay, I'm waiting to let more people in. Savannah, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Okay. Okay. It's moving slow on this side. If you all could get for people who are on TikTok, can you get the likes going? That really helps for the, I think you can say algorithm. I think also in the future, I might wait to start this one. Hello, welcome in. Okay. Oh, Smiley's on. Okay. It is moving slow. Sorry to those of you here. You may have to skip ahead a little bit because it's just moving slow. And I'm waiting for more people to gather. Hi, welcome in. Hello, hello. Hi, there we go. We're getting things are moving. For those who are new here, my name is Dr. Abena Berry. I am a licensed clinical psychologist, and we're here to just have conversation about whatever mental health or human related questions that you have. Joanna, thank you so much for getting the likes going. I really appreciate it. Hi, Joelle. Welcome in. I don't know what's going on today. It is moving very, very slow. I can't. Oh, that's so far. Well, Delishia, I hope I'm saying your name right. Forgive me if I'm not. Welcome in. Thank you for being here and thank you for liking the live. We're going to get started. I'm just waiting for more people to join. Doing pretty good. I got my permit a few days ago. Oh, that's awesome, which I'm excited about. Long time overdue, but it's cool. No, that's great, Savannah. I have multiple things going, y'all. I'm so happy to hear that. Congrats for you. That's a big deal. We're all on our own separate journeys. So sometimes we have different milestones at different times of life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's great. I hope you continue to celebrate yourself. That's awesome that you got your permit. But yeah, welcome in, you all. For people who are new here, my name is Dr. Abena Berry. We're going to be talking about and answering whatever questions you all have about mental health, your human experiences, including relationships, emotions that you're struggling with, whatever might be on your mind. I also, in a little while, might just start on a topic and then kind of see where that takes us. But I'm also open to questions if people have them. This is an opportunity to talk to a psychologist, which, you may not be able to do often. So, and I also happen to be a psychology nerd. So I've been studying psych since I was really young. It was initially in response to my own trauma and things that I had experienced. And then I quickly started to realize, even though I didn't have the language for it yet when I was little, I quickly started to realize that this information, this knowledge was so important for all of us to be aware of because it helps us manage our human experiences well. Yet so many of us were taught to not care about learning about these things, right? Learning about our emotions or our thoughts. And it has done us a pretty big disservice as a whole, not having information about like why we are the way that we are, basically, or what to do when it comes to your human experiences. If you all could continue to get the likes going, that really, really helps. Blitz, yeah, what do you have a particular question about ASD? I'm happy to answer if to the best of my abilities, that is. SCTH, welcome in. Hello, thank you for being here. I am here answering whatever questions people have related to mental health. Savannah, you are the best. Thank you for coming back over and getting the likes going. That really, really helps. I'm happy to answer any particular question about ASD one, if you would like. I don't know if you have a particular question or you just want me to talk about it, which I'm happy to do. So I'll just start talking. And then if you have a particular question, I'm happy to answer. So I actually, that's one of my areas of focus as a psychologist and therapist, and even as a life coach, because I'm also a life coach. I often work with clients who are neurodivergent, whether that be autism, ADHD, OCD. And it also has a really special place in my heart for multiple reasons, multiple people in my life are the reasons. Specifically, my two brothers and my father are on the spectrum and level 1. And then also my husband has ADHD, and pretty certain that my 4-year-old son also does as well. We're not in any kind of rush to diagnose because he has the support that he needs. And I think that I see diagnosis or, these terms to help people deepen self-understanding, but they are not cookie cutter. They're not one size fits all, right? You can have multiple people that have the same diagnosis, and it doesn't mean they're going to be identical. We never want to forget about individuality, which is just a constant, diversity, which is just a constant. So yeah, but anyway, that's why it has a close place in my heart, and it means a lot. And I love being able to work with all of my clients in general, but definitely being able to help my clients who are on the autism spectrum be able to navigate some of their interactions, because a lot of why things are so challenging is, number one, overall, we have mistakenly created a world and a society and a reality that does not, in general, do a good job of meeting human needs, right? In general, right? Regardless of our differences. And so what I mean by that is we have created a world that I think would align better for robots than it does people, people who have emotions, people who have the need to reset, recharge, right? The 40-hour work week does not work for people. That's not, and it wasn't created to work for you either. So if you study the history behind that, it was absolutely not created because it's the best thing for humans. It was created that way to, make a small subset group of human beings wealthy. So that's why it doesn't work. But also we still have so much stigma around mental health that people are not really being able to with ease kind of see how some of the belief systems that we have are harmful to making sure that people are getting their needs met. So with all that said, right, I love being able to help clients, whether they be high function. I hate the term high functioning, but that's still the term for level one. But whether it be that they are level one, let's just say that instead. Just helping them navigate some of the challenges that comes with people not having a lot of education around autism as a whole, still the stigma that can come with that as well, and just some of the challenges that can happen socially for people, and that can show up in a variety of different ways, right? Whether that be trying to figure out how to communicate something to someone who might perceive it a little differently than you mean it, or whatever it may be, and all of the things that can show up when it comes to just our differences. But I kind of believe that the spectrum, or what we call the spectrum, includes all humans, right? I think we have created like an othering that's not to say it's, well, no, that's unnecessary. That's what, yeah, I do believe that. I think it causes more harm than it does help in some ways. But I think that the spectrum includes all of us, right? These are when we see different human phenomenon, right? Different experiences that we're having. Usually, what's different from person to person is frequency, intensity of the experience, right? Like a simple example is, for instance, let's think about like stimming, right? Obviously, if somebody is on the autism spectrum, stimming is going to look very different than someone who does not meet the characteristics for that. But we all do different little behaviors to self-soothe, right? It's like the person who picks at their nails or maybe shakes their foot or whatever it may be. Obviously, it's different. I'm not trying to say it's the same, but it's showing what I'm saying, like this whole spectrum, right? Like that we're all a part of this, but it's the slight differences, or even sometimes major differences that can be seen based on just the slight differences from the human brain and from person to person. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, if there are any specific questions about anything that I said or any other topics, happy to answer them. I don't know why, I don't know what's going on with TikTok as of late and why it's so slow, because it's usually not this slow. Thank you so much, Savannah, for trying to help. I really appreciate it. Because I want to have a discussion, but I can't have a discussion by myself. Okay. I'm trying to make sure it didn't get angry at me for something else. I didn't say anything. I'm honestly, y'all, this, thank you so much, Victory. I appreciate it. Thank you. And if y'all could share it out, if you know other people that are on right now that may want to be a part of the conversation, that helps too. I don't know what's going on with TikTok as of late. I really don't. Sometimes I get so frustrated with this app, seriously. But I'm here and I do still like it overall, but usually the lives move. It does. And I'm really just I'm just on here trying to help people have good discussion, share wisdom. You're right. It does hate. It does hate a lot. And I'm always getting in trouble with it for no reason without doing anything. Anyway, but any other questions or topics, if you all don't have a particular topic, but question, but you want to throw out a topic you'd like me to just randomly talk about off the dome, I'm happy to do that. Like, do you have questions about certain emotions? Do you want me to do some psychoeducation about an emotion? Do you want to talk about something related to a relationship struggle that you're having? There's so many different chance for you all to choose. Just looking at some stuff here to make sure it's not. Yeah, I don't know. I have half a mind to just restart this live over here, this one, because I don't know why it's so slow. I might do that. But okay, I think I'm gonna do that. I don't know if it's mad that this is here. I don't know what the problem is. I might just move it because it's not even that serious. But yeah. I will answer this first, Savannah, then I'll hop off and then hop back on. What can someone do to not harden their heart after heartbreak of any kind? That is a great question. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. The first thing after the heartbreak is, of course, going to be being intentional to allow yourself to grieve. A lot of times people want to just quickly get over things, right? But you already know, Savannah, because we talk about this a lot in my lives, like the brain doesn't work that way, unfortunately. We can't just get over something or pretend. Well, I mean, we can pretend like it doesn't bother us, but that's not the same as actually getting better. So when we go through a heartbreak or any kind of loss of a relationship, we really have to make time and space to explore what we're feeling, how it impacted us, be honest with ourselves about how we feel, even if we don't like it. Like, that's the thing about emotional processing. It is so important to remember that we can acknowledge what we don't like. So what I mean by that is, you can be like, man, I hate that this bothers me so much, or I wish I didn't feel this way. You can have those moments. That's okay. There's nothing, that's understandable. But what you don't want to do is allow that to stop you from doing the work you actually need to start moving through what you're feeling. So have those moments, honor how you feel, but then take it another step further and say, okay, but I do feel this way, right? This does bother me. And maybe I don't understand why it bothers me so much. And that's why we need to allow ourselves to unpack and reflect on the relationship, right? And why we were affected in the ways that we were. But some of it is that you were affected how you were because you were in a relationship, right? I think sometimes we accidentally gaslight ourselves and say, like, I don't know why I feel this way. And it's like, well, yeah, you do. Like, if you were in a meaningful relationship and that relationship ended, that's painful, right? And you know that, and you understand that. And it's so important to validate that for yourself. Hi, Sin, welcome in. It's so important to validate that for yourself and say, okay, I do understand, at least in some foundational way, why I feel how I feel, right? To say that I don't know why I'm feeling sad or whatever it may be at all after a breakup is really doing ourselves a disservice, because we are aware to some degree why we're feeling what we're feeling. It's because of the breakup itself. Then you want to allow yourself to process the specifics of the relationship, why it ended, patterns that unfolded both with you and with that other person, lessons that can be gained about how you move in relationships, what differences you can make, all of that for the future. And then reminding yourself, it's so important to remind yourself that although, yes, there are patterns, right, amongst human beings because of conditioning, can't stress that enough. There are patterns because of conditioning, right? We're conditioned by our culture. We're conditioned by our home environment. We're conditioned by the groups of people that we hang around a lot. So you will see, similarities across people, but that does not then equate to all people are going to do this to me or all people are like this. Matter of fact, you want to analyze that experience to try to unpack what was there that we maybe at the time didn't see that would help us have better discernment in the future. But don't forget that sometimes relationships just end not because it was like it's not always because somebody did someone so wrong or, were so bad to someone. Sometimes it's just that it was meant to be a season, or it wasn't something that was supposed to last, forever, whatever that may be. But you're definitely reminding yourself there's so many people and so many outcomes and so many factors. So that can really help you. Sometimes we want to, after a loss or grieving or trauma, you already know the brain likes to pull you to extremes. That's why you feel kind of, you feel like, ooh, I'm gonna just, stay away from everybody. I'm gonna harden my heart. That's a trauma response, like that's, or at the very least, a grief response, depending on what happened in the relationship. You're trying to protect yourself, but the problem is now you might deprive yourself of something you really want, which is the opportunity for partnership with someone. So yeah, we just have to kind of remember to not allow the pain of one experience to make us overgeneralize, because that overgeneralization tends to be well intended, but then it doesn't really help us in the long run. So hopefully that makes sense. Venus, thank you so much for the roses. Welcome in, welcome in. Ronald, hello, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Again, y'all, for people who are just coming in, we're just talking about all things human. So I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm also a huge psychology nerd, surprise, surprise, and been studying human development, the brain, and all that since I was really young. So I love to just have conversations and do my best to answer questions that people might have to help them keep evolving. So I'm really tempted right now, though, to restart this live over here, this one, like I told y'all. So I'm gonna see, because this is ridiculous. what it's doing to me right now. Okay, anyway, I've been trying, but I see you all have comments. I've been trying to dissect my childhood trauma. Basically heal so I can grow. Any tips or advice? Yeah, of course. And then hold on, I have another question. I'm just trying to figure out how to word it. Yeah, for sure, Savannah. Okay, we're gonna just keep going for right now, because and then if things slow down with the questions, I might just stop and come back really quick. To answer you, Victory, yeah. So here's something really important to keep in mind. So again, just to repeat it over here for people, Victory asked, I've been trying to dissect my childhood trauma, basically heal so I can grow. Any tips or advice? So my best advice, tip, or one of them is definitely that the most common thing that I come across when working with my clients, whether it be therapy clients or coaching clients, is that they have unrealistic expectations of healing. Hi, Brianna, welcome in. Good to see you. They have unrealistic expectations of healing. So what I mean by that is they think, or they have been mistakenly taught somewhere along the way, that healing from trauma means getting to a point where that you no longer have emotion attached to that trauma. That's not reality. That's not possible. So because sometimes people have, whether conscious or subconscious beliefs, that if they still have any kind of emotion attached to those traumatic memories, they have not, quote unquote, healed, that then leaves people feeling like they're failing, even when they might have made a tremendous amount of progress with healing and growth. So the easiest way to think about this is healing healing, just like feeding yourself, right, is a ongoing thing that you're committed to, right? Healing and growth is a lifestyle, just like you choosing to eat each day, to nourish your body, all of that. So it's not something you do and then you're like, oh, done with that task. It's not something you check off of a to-do list. It's something that you commit to sustaining and continuously evolving in the ways that you need to. So our mindset about healing makes all the difference in our ability to see the true efforts that we're putting in, the true change that's happening. So that's a big deal. Like, we have to first analyze, is there anything about my thinking related to my healing journey that is unrealistic? And how can I start correcting that way of thinking so that I am not left continuing to, hold myself to an impossible standard, because that slows you down. So that's a really, really big thing of remembering that this is an ongoing journey. Evolving, growing, healing is an ongoing thing. There will be certain traumas that you went through that you do a significant amount of processing, and you get to a certain point, and you're after you've processed to a certain degree, you only have to do what's called like or what I refer to as like maintenance. A lot of people call it like maintenance processing. So basically, your brain will let you know when you need to revisit some of those memories or experiences to unpack or to emotionally release. But as you do that and as you go on, you'll find that you need to do that less and less. And so that's how you know that things are getting better, because you're not just like ignoring what you went through. You're actually allowing yourself to dive deep and explore and uncover understanding, and then using that understanding to help guide your growth, right, and changing behaviors and all of that, so that trauma responses are not getting in the way of your authentic self. So hopefully that helps, Victory. I hope that was helpful. Can a person who went to therapy coexist? You're so welcome. Thank you for asking such a great question. Can a person who went to therapy coexist with someone who is, I don't know what word to use, hurting? Okay. Can a person who went to therapy coexist with someone who is hurting? The simple answer is yes. Oh, toxic, narcissistic, negative. Yeah. So I get what you're trying to get at, Savannah. So the short answer is yes. Technically, we are all coexisting with people who are hurting, to some degree anyway, at least from time to time, maybe not all the time. But I know what you mean. You mean more like someone who is in a place that's a little more stagnant, maybe not doing work on themselves, kind of thing. You can coexist, but how close how close you can be to that person is living with them. Okay. So yeah, you could coexist, but it's going to be more work, right, for you. So I often use this analogy, so you all have heard me use it before. Think of a relationship like that, like the person you're living with or who you're thinking about. Think of that being like you're in a pool, and the pool represents your relationship with the person or any of your relationships. For relationships where people are in a healthier place and with themselves, and they are working to co-create something healthy with you, that kind of pool is going to be easy, right? Or to exist in, or easier. So you're going to have floaties, you're going to be able to chill on the water, right? Because that person is co-creating with you. But with what you're describing, this would be the equivalent of a large pool that is like 20 feet deep, ain't no floaties. And so you have to like stay afloat yourself, right? Like you have to physically put in work to do that. And sometimes you're going to have challenges that pull you under, and then you have to work your way back up. And so you can do it, but it's more effortful. So the goal, ideally, right, would be to, in whatever ways possible, even if it's a long goal, even if it takes a long time, to be making some kind of exit plan, if at all possible. Like even if it's gradual, whatever it may be, because it's easier to have boundaries with people who you really need strict and strong boundaries. Boundaries are always a part of a healthy relationship of some kind, but for difficult relationships, you have different kinds of boundaries. They're stricter and they look different. So for those kinds of situations, you want to be able to have distance, physical distance, because it's less effort having the boundaries. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. Okay. I have like 30 more minutes. I want to try to restart this live because it is being bogus to me. So Blitz, I am going to answer your question. I literally am going to just come right back. So if you could just stay on my page, I just want to see if it makes a difference, because I don't know why TikTok is being this way. So give me a minute, like less than a minute. I'll be right back. Okay. So interesting, y'all. So my YouTube peeps, and hello, in case the person from yesterday that was on the live with me is here today, I was just trying to let you know that I didn't get the email that you sent. So if you are here, please let me know, because I see there's 2 people in here at least right now. And if that's neither of the two people, then don't mind what I just said, but I just don't know who's in here. So I was just trying to see. Okay, I'm going back live, y'all, on TikTok. I think it's just moving slow today, and that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Everybody's where they're supposed to be. It's okay. Okay. Let me maybe because I didn't do this. I don't know if that makes a difference, but give me a second, y'all. Literally, I will be done I'll be back to talking in 2 seconds. Customize. I'm trying to add a gift because sometimes that makes a difference, and I haven't been doing that lately. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I'm back. I'm on TikTok live. And thank y'all for those who are over here. Thank you for being here. Let me know if you have questions in the comments, or if you're just listening, that's okay too. Okay, so I'm waiting for things to pick back up because I do got to go in like 25 minutes. So we're going to make the most of the 25 minutes. And then I'm going to have to edit this one because there's been too many like moments of slow movement. Okay, so I'm waiting for people to come back in. The last person just asked me a question about anxiety medication, so that's probably what I'm going to answer next. Hi, Savannah. Hey, Blitz. Okay, you had asked something about anxiety meds, right? You said anxiety medication, I think, for ASD. Please correct me if that's wrong, but was that your question? And thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. It doesn't look like it's making too much of a difference, but it was worth a try. But yeah, let me know if that was your question. I remember reading it kind of quick. I think you were asking about anxiety medication. And hello over here. Welcome in. If you have any mental health healing questions, questions related to your human experience, I'm here. I'm answering whatever questions people have. My name is Dr. Abena Berry. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and also an author of this 5-star rated self-help book. I also am a speaker and life coach. So, and I've been studying human development and psychology since I was a little kid. So I love to have these discussions with people who want to learn about how to manage your brain. But yeah, Blitz, was your question specifically about anti-anxiety medication for ASD? I think that's what I read. I might have read it too fast. Let me know if that's the question. And welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, everyone. If you all could get the likes going again, that would really help. I have amount SD, also social anxiety, and stem by chewing. Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. So you're wanting to just see what medications can kind of help and aid. So what I would say is that you can definitely try anti-anxiety meds if you for the social anxiety. The stimming, it may help decrease that too to some degree, but there tends to be other contributing factors sometimes. Like sometimes stimming can just become a little more habitual. And sure, it is related to self-soothing, but everyone's different, but it should still do something, I would imagine. So there's a lot of different types of anti-anxiety meds. For people who are new here in Blitz, I think you're new here. So I was going to say fun fact, but I don't know if it's fun, but fact about me is that part of what really pulled me in the direction of this work outside of my own trauma history was that when I was 19 years old, I was diagnosed with an anxiety disorder, and it was really severe. At the time, it was very debilitating. I was having panic attacks on a weekly basis. And so that's what pulled me into therapy the first time that I went to therapy. And I'll get to the next comment in a second. Give me a second, Jamie. But so I bring that up just to say that I also know from a personal standpoint about anti-anxiety meds, because when I was in that chapter of my life, I did take anxiety medication. I also did therapy. And what I found, and I'm somebody who believes therapy is meant to be something we do on and off throughout our life to continue to take good care of our mental health. Just like we go see a physician for our physical health, I believe that therapy or some type of therapeutic treatment, because I don't think talk therapy is for everyone. I don't think anything's for everyone, but I do think some type of therapeutic treatment or treatments are imperative for our mental and emotional well-being, and even if it's just for psychoeducation or whatever else. But anxiety meds, they obviously they do work, right? Like it changes things with your brain. Chemistry to help decrease anxiety symptoms. But what I really recommend, Blitz, is to always combine, if you're going to do medication, to combine that with working with someone to learn other cognitive and behavioral skills and emotional intelligence skills to manage your anxiety better. So, like for instance, with social anxiety, exposure therapy is a really helpful treatment that can really help a person start working through some of the intensity of those experiences. So our brain is like it can be changed, it's malleable, there's neuroplasticity, so we can learn new things, we can shift ourselves. This is how I went from having that really debilitating anxiety disorder to who I am today, right? I still experience anxiety, right? It's a hi night owl, good to see you. I still experience anxiety, right? It's an emotion. There's no cure for our emotions. But what changes is we can learn to manage them better. And that's what changed for me by going to therapy. And then also at that time, I did need medication. I really did because it was so debilitating. But when I went to therapy for the first time, that's where I learned a lot of these skills that I didn't have before, related to emotional intelligence and anxiety management. That's also where I learned what anxiety actually is, so I could stop. Hi, good afternoon, good to see you, Kai. So that I could stop seeing it as an enemy and start seeing it for what it really truly is, so I could manage it. So all that can change with our human experiences is how well we manage them. And so this is why I focus with clients on improving their skill set. And that's what I want you to know, Blitz, is like, I don't want you to ever give your power up to anything, meaning like medication is a supplement. It's a support, but there's also things that you can continue to learn and do to evolve too. And it's not to minimize the struggle, because like I said, trust me, I get it. Like I really do. But I also am living proof that people can get to a very different place. Like, you know, my early 20s, that version of me at that time anyway, could not imagine who I am today, right? I get on here and speak to you guys. I've been on television 3 times so far. I speak for a living now. I get paid to speak for a living. So like I had so much social anxiety at that time that I couldn't even fathom that, right? Like that was, but I'm not that same version of me. I've evolved. And so we can continue to evolve, but there's a lot of unlearning that has to happen. And part of it is seeking support and knowledge. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, anti-anxiety meds should be able to help take some of that edge off, the intensity. Okay, let me go back up. Sorry, there were some comments, and I want to make sure I get back to them. So hopefully that helps, Blitz. Let me know if you have a follow-up question. And I have like 20 minutes, y'all, before I have to go. So let's make the most of it, because I have a therapy client at 4. Hello. Why when I stressed or have anxiety, my pelvis hurt? That's interesting, Jamie. I'm not quite sure why that would be happening. I mean, we do hold anxiety and stress in the body, but what I would say is maybe going to, we always, if we can't find a very clear like mental health reason alone, we also might want to go check on if there's possibly a physical health concern. Because remember, our brain is attached to our body. So this is one whole system. So what's happening to you emotionally can absolutely affect things physically. You might just hold stress there for some reason. Everyone's different. I've had in the past, like many years ago, so I feel comfortable talking about this briefly. But I had a client who came to me because they went to their physician trying to figure out why they were getting all these boils right on their body, and it turns out it was because of stress and struggles around anxiety management. And so when we started doing therapy to improve their skills around anxiety management, they stopped having that condition. Like it just went away altogether. So it took time, of course, but the relationship between our brain, body, how we hold stress, it's such a complex thing. So I would say, if it only happens when there's stress and anxiety, it may just be for some reason your body holds stress there. I would encourage you to like do something meditative when you can, and see if you focus on that area of your body, if you can relax that area, because maybe you just hold stress there. Everyone's different. Okay. Brock, hello, welcome in. I saw your other question. Yes, I do. I absolutely know what DPDR is. If people don't know what DPDR is, it is depersonalization and derealization. Okay. Yes, it's only when I'm stressed. Yeah, Jimmy, that just sounds like where your body maybe holds stress. The body is a complex thing. Beautifully complex, but complex nonetheless. Hey, best friend, welcome in. And my best friend Ashley's here. Okay, so Brock, back to your question, my dear. Yeah, so first and foremost, DPDR can be a very upsetting experience. So if you are experiencing that on a regular basis, know that I'm just like sending you a big hug and lots of love, because it can just be really disorienting. Like I was saying earlier, with these human experiences, the vast majority of things we've created labels for, everyone experiences, but maybe not to the same intensity. So, right. So for some people, they may have a moment of depersonalization or derealization, right? It's fleeting. And, maybe it's a little upsetting, but it's not a chronic problem. See, that's the difference between a diagnosis and a non-diagnosis, right? Having anxiety, it's an emotion. Everyone experiences anxiety, unless for some reason your amygdala does not work in your brain or whatever. And that's like very rare. You'd have a hard time surviving without your amygdala working properly. We can talk about that in a second if you want to know why. But anyway, so think of everything as frequency and intensity, right? So we've all had moments, right, where we're maybe like because I'm going to explain DPDR in a simple way, just for people who are new to it. Hi, Mickey, good to see you. So we all had moments where we maybe you like wake up and on a particular day, you just feel a little off. Like you maybe feel like you're having a little bit of an out-of-body experience, or you feel like your reality is not quite right. Like that it is, this is reality, but you're like, this is strange. Right? So that's a simple way of describing DPDR. For some people, though, they experience that chronically, like all the time. And so just imagine for a moment, like what that would be like to feel like an out-of-body experience all the time, like you're not in your body, like vision blurry. Yeah. I'm sending you so much love, Brock. It's hard. I know it's really, really, it's not fun. And I say this as somebody who I think we've all experienced moments of it, but I've had periods in my life where I've experienced derealization a little more chronically. It's just not fun. It's just not fun. None of the things that are diagnoses are necessarily fun, but it's just not fun. So, my head is fuzzy. Yeah, the fuzzy feeling, the disconnection. It can be disorienting. Sorry, I'm going back up just to reread your question because I want to make sure I'm not forgetting. Oh, you said, do I know if Lexapro or Zoloft can help? Okay, so I'm so glad you asked this. But the reason why I sighed is because, okay, I have mixed feelings about Lexapro. Hi, nobody, welcome in, even though you're somebody. It feels weird anytime somebody has that in their name. So I have a love-hate relationship with Lexapro, and here's why. And I say this as somebody who, if y'all are just coming in, I shared earlier that I used to meet the criteria for anxiety disorder with panic attacks as well. I thankfully now do not, through a lot of therapy and self-work and all of that. But anyway, I took Lexapro though. So I have a personal experience with that. I also frequently have clients that have that take Lexapro. And I think my issue with it is that sometimes it like a lot of these antidepressant, anti-anxiety meds, they can really numb you out. Thank you so much, Mickey. I really appreciate it. They can kind of numb you out. And so even though you don't feel as anxious anymore, you also don't feel like as happy when you feel happy, or so and that's not everyone's experience. That is not every. So I can't stress that enough. I have clients who are on Lexapro. They swear by it. They're like, it's great. It does what I needed to do. Thank you so much, Bestie. Thank y'all for the love. Thank you, Mickey. So the numbed out, yeah, I'm aware of numbed out, but I feel like a low dose could be better. Yes, yeah. It's like yeah, no, it absolutely can, Brock. And here's the thing: you might not feel numbed at all. This is the thing about medication. We don't know we can't tell you exactly what the experience is going to be like for you as an individual, because even though we all have the same structures and parts to our brain, right? There are these slight differences. Our brain, think of our brain as like snowflakes, right? All snowflakes are made out of the same thing, right? But if you look at it under a microscope, you have these differences. And that's about our differences in neural connections and synapses. And those things develop over time based on our experiences, including trauma and all of that. So there's no way to be like, oh, yes, this exact medication is going to do this exact thing for you per se. But we know what the benefits it can offer. So overall, in conclusion, Brock, what I would say is it's worth a try for sure. If Lexapro or Zoloft or any of them, the good news is there's so many of these medications. Hi, Rode, welcome in. There's so many of these medications that you can try out different ones. You can always wean off if it doesn't work for you the way you need to. You can even, depending on how long you were taking it, you can even like just stop it immediately. But the thing about these medications is you usually have to do them for 6 to 8 weeks, right, to know their full therapeutic effect. So I would say, yes, it is absolutely worth a try. So is meditation, though, adding in meditation to your life if you don't already, specifically mindful meditation. You can, yeah, I definitely can revved up, Robin, before I leave. Specifically, mindful meditation, please start practicing that. Remember, we can't just do something once, we have to kind of make it a practice. So even if you could just do 10 minutes a day, especially to start your day, that might help ground you. Two, some people also swear by doing like cold plunges or cold showers to ground as well. Going on nature walks, all of those different things to try to connect. Taking time I know this sounds a little weird, but like literally taking time to just look at your body, like to stare at your body, the parts that you can see with your eyes, as well as maybe using a mirror, all of that can help. So hopefully that was helpful. Okay, I do have to go in like 10 minutes, y'all, so I'm gonna make the most of the time. Revved Up Robin, welcome in. Thank you for being here. You asked me to talk about my book. I will, but I have to be a little careful because TikTok be tripping. So this is my book. It is a 5-star rated self-help book that I wrote. It took me 2.5 years to write and publish it. It came out in 2024, and it is available on TikTok Shop. That's all I can say. Anyway, and my book, although it was written with representation for the Black community, my readers are of all races. And the reason why they're of all races and identities is because the knowledge in this book is still universal mental health tools. Like I've been saying this whole life, we all have the same structures and parts to our brain. So every bit of information in my book applies to all humans, right? Still. But the difference is I intentionally included representation throughout for the Black community to help fight stigma and also to increase representation, because there's still a lack of mental health resources for the Black community. So for me as a Black psychologist, it was really important for me to add to the very small amount of books that take our lived experiences into consideration. For my readers who are not Black that read this book, 96% of it focuses on mental health tools and tips that apply to everyone. If you have a human brain, it applies to you. The other 4%, though, increases their social awareness and their empathy for people who are having different lived experiences than them. We have to care about how we affect one another. Who causes other human beings trauma? other humans. So we have to care about understanding other people's experiences, cultures, be aware of one another. So this is why my readers are of all backgrounds, but I did want to honor Black mental health because we need more representation. We need more resources. We need to help fight the stigma because obviously there is so many generational curses going on throughout humanity as a whole, but stigma really prevents people who look like me from even considering help. So it would be a disservice for me not to use my identity to help more people who look like me consider unlearning the toxic conditioning. That's also what the cover represents, right? This is shedding yourself of the lies that you were taught about your mental health by people who know nothing about the human brain and re-stimulating your mind with truth. Every chapter builds off of the last. I cover so many things. If you want to learn more, I posted a video right before getting on live on my TikTok. If you go to that video and you watch that TikTok video for about 20 seconds, I appreciate if you watch the whole thing, but if you watch it for about 25 seconds, something will pop up above my head that's going to be really helpful for you to find out more information about this. But it is available on TikTok Shop, okay? So yeah. Hopefully that helps. And I cover anxiety management, grief, relationships, decision-making, trauma, and how to unlearn trauma responses, how to figure out your authentic self and stop living just according to toxic conditioning. I cover things like a social construct so you can understand that everything is made up so that you can, again, start to connect with who you really are and stop believing made up things. Not stop believing them, but stop letting them limit your discovery of self. So much. Anyway, if you go to that TikTok video, you will get important information. So good to see you too, Lauren. Hello. And it's literally I literally just posted it before I got on here. Major advocate, or people can also DM me on here if you, for some reason, are struggling to figure out what I mean. Major advocate for natural medication remedies and switching up routines. Yes, Bree, absolutely. There's the thing about our mental health, because now I'm going fast. I only got 5 minutes. The thing about our mental health is that we're not meant to do one thing to take care of it. Just like we're not meant to do one thing to just take care of our physical health. It's a culmination of things. So we want to be figuring out all various things that we can start implementing to improve how we care for ourselves. Lauren, yeah. So on this particular TikTok page, it took away my ability to do that. Yeah, which is very frustrating. I do now have another page that I do that from. You're welcome, Robin. Thank you for asking. And if you decide to get a copy, I am so excited to be able to support you on your healing and growth journey through my writing. Absolutely. Okay. And what else we got? Where can I find them? Just search on TikTok at shop Dr. Abena Berry. That's it. That will that's what it is. You can also send me a message on here, Lauren, if that helps. Okay, y'all, I'm going to start to wrap up, especially because I said a lot and I don't want TikTok angry because it gets angry so much. But I love you all. Thank y'all for being here, having conversation with me. I hope that this was a helpful live and I answered a lot of your questions and continue to support you on your healing and growth journeys in the ways that I can. The last thing I'll say before I go is that if anybody who is interested in looking for like one-on-one help or even group help, because I'm planning on I want to do like some skills-based groups soon. And it doesn't matter where you live for that. Anybody looking for that kind of resource, whether it be for therapy, coaching, please send me a message. If you don't know where to go on the internet for me yet, just send me a message and I'll give you that information so that we can touch base and I can see how I can be of help to you. I do have I think one opening for therapy, and coaching is different. I take people ongoing because we don't meet like weekly in that way. But once I do my skills group, that will be a set amount of time. So if you're interested in that information, just please send me a message for my TikTok people. And then for the people over here, that the first thing in the comments is where you go, because I'm able to write it over there. But yeah, I love you all. You all have a wonderful day. Take good care. I may try to hop on again. Oh no, I can't get on tomorrow or Thursday because I have plans with friends. So I might not be back until sometime next week, but maybe I'll surprise you and be on this weekend. But thank you all for being here and take good care. Bye-bye. Okay. Whew. So y'all, this hope, please. Oh, thank God. Oh, good news, y'all. TikTok did not give me a violation for anything. You can't say anything on TikTok, like nothing. You can't, they won't let you say your website. They won't let you say anything. But for now that that's off, I can say what I was saying. If you're interested in working with me or learning about where to find my book easily, it is on Amazon and everything like that. But you can just go to my website and all that information is there. If you're on your phone, you're going to see in the top right corner 3 lines. That's how you see the menu. So you just click that menu. If it's your first time on my website, there will be a pop-up to invite you to join my community. It's just a way for you to be informed about the things that I'm doing, when I'm doing events so that you may want to be a part of, or even just some additional like free mental health information from time to time that I might send, or about my podcast, whatever it is. So if you're interested in joining my community, I would love to have you. I lovingly refer to my members as like the becomers, because we're people who care about healing and growing and evolving. So you can just sign up. But other than that, yeah, everything else is literally on my website. The links to the book, how to work with me, and how to reach out if you would like to work together. And again, I am taking it might be 2. I might have space for 2 therapy clients right now, maybe, depending on availability. And definitely space for coaching clients, because that one is on an as needed basis. So hit me up. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.